weekend, and just acknowledging our servicemen and women, our armed forces that, they sacrifice so much for the liberties that you and I, that we have today.
Yes,
and
and
so
sometimes that we take for granted
that we
as
take for
well.
granted, yes. And so, to our service, to our armed servicemen and women out there, we thank you, and we can't thank you enough. And as we move forward in our show and throughout the course of the year, I think it's important that we look to invite the veterans onto our show so that we can talk further about how we can assist them as they transition back into civilian life.
And talking about veterans, this is the perfect platform conversation to introduce our guest, Norm Skulski of the Polish Blood Radio. And I'd love to talk a little bit more about that because I've been on your show before.
Yes, you have.
Absolutely excited to have you here. And I know you've done things with the veterans, different types of celebrations,
Oh yes,
commemorations.
pool tournaments mostly. I had
Yes.
128 women in gowns, cocktail dresses, playing pool for disabled veterans.
Oh, phenomenal.
7 years in a row.
Wow. Tell me a little bit about that. Tell me about how you got into radio, Norm, and a little bit about
Well,
your background.
I was a guest on so many different radio shows and TV because I did the pool tournaments naturally. So, and once I found out about, because it's Veterans Day, Memorial Day, so and Matt Urban is probably the most. He deserves more credit than anybody. He's America's most decorated combat soldier. He's in the World's Guinness Book of Records, 1989 edition, which I didn't know. I thought, I'm also a contractor. A guy asked me that I was doing work for, who's America's most decorated combat soldier? I would have bet on it. I said Audie Murphy.
Really?
Till he showed me some literature, a Reader's Digest book called America's Forgotten Hero, and Buffalo born, native. And then he showed me the Guinness Book of Records. He said there's a book on him in a library. So I read it, even though I need reading glasses. But it was big print, a lot of pictures. I couldn't believe this guy's in Buffalo, and I didn't know. And when I started asking about it, nobody knew who he was.
Amazing.
And to me, I thought it was crazy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's one of the things that makes our region so unique. There are so many untold great stories about Western New York and the people of
So many
Western New York.
legends and legacies, and you've really brought that to your radio show in a very big
So
way.
you know what I did, Dale? Me and my wife, Diane, ran a pool tournament at the Leonard Post, and we raised money for a plaque. And we placed it in Naval Park, and we had music, of course, a lot of politicians, and everybody spoke about him and stuff. So just to keep his legacy alive, okay? And we did another pool tournament, and we started raising money for a monument, okay? And if you check it out, there's a monument right now. 4 years ago we had it unveiled. It's in front of the Rathbone. And I'm saying this for your listening audience, okay? They might check it out. His wife, Jenny, Lieutenant Colonel Matt, and his daughter Jennifer came from Holland, Michigan to unveil it. If you check the front page of the Buffalo News, the day of the unveiling, you can check it on the computer, June 14th, 08. But check out the monument. It's 7 foot tall. Looks like he's on the front page of the book with a pistol in his hand. And it was very
Very touching.
we just did a race at the harness race at Buffalo Raceway. Again, these things just to keep his legacy alive. Where the winning horse we presented with a blanket, Lieutenant Colonel Matt Urban race, and again, we did it at Batavia Raceway. Last year, Duntire Raceway, we did a run and a walk. They do the